Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Zoom session. I'm very excited. My name is Kieran Vora, and today's session is going to be on creating and enhancing instructional videos. During this time of remote learning, that has been something that's been at the top of my radar, not only working with teachers, but making sure that the students are also getting the best instructional videos that they can get. So I am an instructional technology specialist at Quaker Valley School District. My email is down at the bottom there if you want to take note. If you have any questions, if you want to get in contact, please let me know. I'd love to talk with you. So anytime I go into a session or anytime I create a session, I want to make sure that I kind of start off with, what are you going to walk away with today? So we're going to take a look at a 5-step guide to effective videos. We're also going to look at a video recording software that I think is probably the easiest and the less clunky and the best way to share when it comes to the recording software. I've taken a look at a lot of different ones, and I feel like this has been the best, and it's definitely gotten the best teacher response as well. We're also going to take a look at 2 different tools to enhance video engagement, and I think you're really going to like those. You might have actually heard of them already, but you might not have thought about combining all of them together. So how has remote learning changed Quaker Valley School District? So if you're not familiar with QVSD, it is a small public school located in Leedsdale, Pennsylvania. It is a great school district. The teachers are fantastic. The kids are amazing. The admin, I can go on and on and on. But I'm not going to do that. We do have iPads, grades 6 through 12. We recently rolled those out actually this year. Prior to this, they had Chromebooks. So we are very happy that we got them on iPads this year, considering with the COVID-19 crisis. We did switch over to an asynchronous approach with Schoology, our learning management system, and other tools to make sure that our students are receiving relevant and rigorous education, even at home. Teachers are creating learning plans to help students complete tasks. At the elementary level, they're a little basic. Middle school, they're getting a little more challenging. At the high school, we're really still trying to make sure that the kids are still discussing high topics, using those higher level thinking skills. And that's something that we're very lucky that we can do just because we have a lot of those resources throughout the year. I did trainings on the iPads. I did trainings on tools that are used for flipped classroom. And I'm very happy that I did because now they're really paying off. So how has the classroom changed with remote learning? I think number one, detailed instructions are even more important now. A lot of teachers have come to me and said, okay, all of a sudden, no one's getting anything done because they're not understanding if I write it down. Well, you're no longer there. You're no longer talking to them. Now you have the opportunity to use an instructional video, whether it's to describe maybe an upcoming assignment or even just what to complete throughout the day. I think a video does it justice just because it keeps them engaged and they can rewatch that video as well. And a lot of times the video has visuals, like maybe it's a screencast of you. Maybe you're drawing on a notability or you're drawing on a whiteboard. That's really helpful. Way more distractions. Way more distractions. Not only now are students at home, they have everything at their disposal. They got video games, they got social media, they have all of this stuff now, and everything is in the way of them learning. And so we are really noticing that on a higher level. And if we thought kids weren't, not really engaged in classroom, we're really seeing that now. So like I said, that next point there, decreased engagement and interest. We're definitely seeing that. And the final and the most important is that loss of social environment and face-to-face interactions. And that's a really big one for these kids. A lot of them, their friends, their interactions with one another, that is really what's important to them. And this is going to be interesting in how can we use technology to keep them, socially engaged with one another. And that's going to be interesting to see. So during the time of remote learning, when it first happened, I remember sitting in a room, everyone looking at me saying, what are we going to do? And literally 2 days before that meeting happened, I was already creating materials, full courses for them, because I knew that the technology level amongst teachers was so different that I wanted to make sure there was a level playing field. And a lot of the teachers kind of went directly to YouTube, and YouTube is fantastic for learning. However, a lot of times we run into the problem that it's too long or too short. And then we get frustrated, and then Sometimes it's blocked by restrictions or safe search. I get tons of emails from teachers saying, this video is not available for my kids, but I was able to watch it. Well, most likely it was probably caught in the restrictions or the safe search, and I don't have control over that. A lot of times that is set as a policy at the district office. So they actually don't always fit your specific learning objectives, which is really frustrating because sometimes you find a great video and then sometimes you don't. And you kind of wish and think to yourself that, man, I could have done better. And a lot of times you think to yourself, man, that's just too hard, where in reality it's not. And a lot of times they're not personal or engaging. And so YouTube is great, but we can do better. So these are the 5-step guide, or the 5-step guide to effective videos. Number 1, chunk instruction. Number 2, include visuals. Number 3, record and share. Number 4, enhance engagement. And number 5, be yourself. We're going to take a look throughout this presentation. So step 1, chunk instruction. At the beginning, I saw teachers create 45-minute videos using like Screencast-O-Matic or just iPad screen recording. Do you think any kid, high school, middle school, elementary kid, is going to sit there and watch 45 minutes? Absolutely not. Time is of the essence. These kids' engagement level begins to drop after 6 minutes. My attention span is awful. That's why I create short little videos for my teachers rather than long ones. That way, when we're learning new content or we're looking at a new tool, they can watch that short video, boom, bang, move on to the next one, rather than listening to me sitting there trying to pretend that they're engaged. It's always helpful to cover a single learning objective or task rather than kind of putting them all together. The nice thing about video is they can rewatch it. That's such a fantastic tool. So if a kid has a question, say, please watch the video again, right? Instead of them coming to you with an email. The videos have really shown to be helpful in that aspect. Multiple short videos are much better than one long video. We've seen it, and there's proof behind it. The being able to use those multiple short videos rather than one long video is definitely going to help them with their engagement and interest. And step 2 is including those visuals. Like today, I have a Google slide, I have images, but you can use infographics. You could use anything out there, PowerPoint slides, images, Prezi, something to really capture the kid's attention. You can actually also see there's the recording software we're going to look at today actually has a picture of your face in the left-hand corner. That's a visual. That's the student seeing things. And so that's really helpful when you're thinking about these videos, is there should be a visual aspect. There should be something for the kids to look at while also listening to you. You wouldn't think that's super important or like super hard, but I've seen a lot of teachers kind of forget about that. And it's very important, especially for our visual learners. So step 3, record and share with Loom. And like I said earlier, we're going to take a look at one of those recording softwares, and one of them is called Loom. Loom is definitely what I think the best current one out there, because I've tested a lot of different ones with teachers. We've tested Screencastify, we've tested Screencast-O-Matic, we've tested what was another one we tested? We tested like the iPad screen recording. But Loom has definitely been the top one, and it's been the QVSD teacher approved. It's the one that I recommended to all teachers, and we have got glowing reviews from them. So there are 2 different versions. There's the Google Chrome extension, and there's also the desktop version. You can get either one. They're both free. The desktop version does come with a drawing tool, which is nice if you're someone who likes to draw. You can save it as an MP4 or a shared link. So if you're someone who likes to upload videos to YouTube, or someone who likes to upload a video directly to your learning management system, you can save it as an MP4. Or if you're like me and does not like to upload that stuff, you can do shared links. That shared link can be added to anything. So if it's an email, or maybe it's just on your Google Classroom or your Schoology page or your Blackboard page or your Canvas page, anything like that, you can add it. Students can click on it and watch it. It's great. I love it. Amazing. The other thing that's great is pause recording to reduce transition time. That is key. As someone who makes a ton of videos, a lot of times I have to take them and then edit them. But the pausing tool gets rid of that need. So now all I have to do is pause when I want to move on. So let's say I'm on a Google slide. I can pause, and then I can move around, open up maybe a video, and then hit play. And then that way I get rid of that transition time, and I don't have to edit out that large blob of silence. Now it's all ready to go. So that's going to be something that's fantastic. So I'm going to play this short video. It's just me going through what Loom looks like. and I'm just going to kind of talk over it, and you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like on a Mac. So this is going to be the Chrome extension. This is going to get attached to your Google Chrome. So you can just search Google, and then from Google, you can search Google. No, you can search Loom in Google. You can get it for free. You are going to have to sign up with your Google account. So you probably have that for your district. And then from there, you're going to have the icon in the top right. You'll see that there. And then you're going to have a lot of different options. You can have the option to have your face in the bottom left. You can have the option to not have your face if you're someone who doesn't like that. You can also have the option to just have your video camera as alone, or you can change the size of your face. It's going to give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Super simple to use. I'm already recording. You can see I just paused it there. Really helpful tool. And now I'm going to change the size of my circle. Oh, way too big. So I'm going to go back now, and now you'll see I have my videos there, and I just stopped. So this is the video that this is the screen that you're going to get when you're all done. You can edit that video, and then you can see where it says copy link. All I'm going to do is copy that link and take it over and save it. And there's also ways to edit from there as well. And I can also download, which I just downloaded there, and that'll download as that MP4. So that was the Chrome version. Now we're going to look at the desktop version. So the desktop version is very similar. It's got the same, buttons as the Chrome extension. However, it's a little more reliable in the sense of people will probably use this if you're making longer videos or if you want to be able to draw. You're going to get definitely a higher quality sound, I believe, rather than using the Chrome version. So right now we're just going through the process of turning on the microphone, turning on the preferences. You might have to talk to your technology crew. A lot of times I'll have to help people kind of do that because a lot of times we have the admin password and username on that. And then you might have to go to security and privacy and then do all that good stuff. But then once you're all done, you'll be able to begin recording, and you'll see it's the same thing. So this is just really the same thing other than Google extension. Now you have the ability to draw. And it is really so simple. I mean, what you're seeing here is what you get. You can go into the settings and kind of play around with it. However, in all reality, I don't think you really have to. The normal setting is quite good. So you can see here, I'm circling now, but they don't stay, which is kind of frustrating. It's the same thing as well. When it's all done, you can save it, and then it's going to get saved, and you can either download it to that MP4 or that shared link. All right, so that is Loom, and so these are some practical tips that I learned along the way. So number one, use Loom's editing options to save time. So use that pausing feature, and then when you're done, go back in and actually look and say, okay, how can I trim it? Maybe I started off poorly, or maybe I could end some of the back end. You can do that within Loom. Rather than having to take that video, upload it to iMovie, and start editing, you can use Loom's editing options, which are great. Number two, experiment with new ways to use Loom. So number one, create intro videos. That has been something that teachers have loved. Every day they create a Loom video. It helps them connect with their students. It helps the students feel like, there's my teacher, I'm still in class. There's some sense of normalcy going on in this time, and it's been great because the teachers can say hi, they can be funny, they can be themselves, and then they can also go through the lesson. The other one is providing feedback to students. You can use Loom. Let's say teachers or let's say students maybe have just created an essay or a project. What you want to do is maybe you want to provide them feedback using Loom rather than typing it all out. And that's what a teacher has been doing, an English teacher. What she does is she goes into their document, or maybe their Google Doc. She goes to Loom. She records herself going through it, adding things, editing them, giving her feedback. And then when she's done, she just emails that student that shared link. And now the student has one-to-one contact with that teacher and can see how they're improving or what they need to be improving on their essay. And the third one is delivering content. Obviously, that's going to be the main one. Loom is fantastic for that, being able to create a video on the spot, less than 10 seconds. And that's something that we want. As a technology integrator, I want to create or find something that's not super hard to use, but it really does exactly what we want, and that is Loom. So for teachers who want to start using some type of video recording tool, I definitely recommend Loom. So step 4, it was that enhancing engagement part. So keep students actively engaged with videos can be tough. A lot of teachers have been using multiple videos, and that can be overwhelming for kids. So the Flipgrid, Nearpod are definitely two of the top tools that I think can be used to enhance engagement in a video lesson or a lesson with multiple videos. The third one there says use your LMS. Now, I don't like that one, so I'm actually going to delete it. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So number one, we have Nearpod. Nearpod is a student engagement platform. It is fantastic. A lot of time people think that I am the salesperson for Nearpod. I am not. So there is a free or a paid version. The free version is going to have many of the same features that the pro version does. However, it's not going to have the student paste. I'm going to get into that in a minute. The paid version, which maybe your district has licenses for that, will come with all the pro features. So a live session versus a student pace session. A live session is something where the teacher creates a lesson, the students hop on in real time, and they participate in a lesson. And in this time of remote learning, I've seen teachers use Zoom as a way to use Nearpod live sessions. That way, what happens, the students all come on in a Zoom meeting, the teacher pushes out a code to them, they all sign in, and now they can go throughout the lesson, whether it's a video or whether it's some PowerPoint slides and some questions, they can do that together. The student pace is where you can create a presentation and then push it out to kids, whether it's on your LMS or just the join code, and then they can complete that on their own time, and you can still view their results. Importing PowerPoint and Google Slides into Nearpod is a complete breeze. It is so easy, and that's what makes it so great, is because we don't want to have to make new content. A lot of teachers have presentations, and if I were to tell them to try out a new presentation tool, they're like, no, I already have that. Well, with Nearpod, you can just add your presentation into it and really bring it to life. And so you can actually add Loom videos within a Nearpod, which is fantastic because it works seamlessly. You add that share link, the students could click on that, they can watch your video, and then they can participate in the rest of the lesson. All of a sudden, you have all of your components in one similar or one sectional tool. All of a sudden, you have your PowerPoint, you have your video that you created, you got some activities for them to complete. Teachers love using Nearpod because it really does help kids limit those distractions. All of their things are housed there. Everything gets submitted through Nearpod. It's fantastic. And there's interactive activities, cannot be beat. I mean, you have the quiz, you have the time to climb, which is kind of like, I'm trying to think, it's like kind of like a Kahoot, but for Nearpod. You got the matching games. They're really fun ways to keep the kids engaged. You got the draw it tool. I mean, Nearpod is fantastic. So you can go in and you can check on their progress and their results using the Nearpod website. Very simple to use. I would definitely highly recommend looking at Nearpod. So we're going to play this video. This is another video that I kind of went through, screencasted it, and looked at, what would Nearpod look like. I mean, a picture doesn't do anything, and I wanted to kind of give you guys a visual with a video. So this is what Nearpod looks like. So if I were to create one here, which I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to import some slides from PowerPoint. So I'm going to go into my Finder. I'll find a PowerPoint slide. And it's going to process, and now we're back in the video. Okay, so you can name it at the top, and now I can begin adding content. There's so many different things. There's even the 3D. So this is really cool. Let's say you're looking at the Aztec temple, okay? I can zoom in, zoom out. I can move it around. I can really make it something the kids are going to see and visually see. The PhET simulations for science, they love this. This is a great way for having students practice those concepts that might be difficult to them. Even the field trip, if you have Google Maps turned on or Google Earth, you can have a student go into a 360 camera and allow them to really take a field trip to anywhere. You can have videos, so you could even take your Loom video and add it directly to a Nearpod, or you can add that shared link like I said earlier. Oh, so here's a quiz question. So here I'm just creating a quiz. So, what is my favorite sport? And then I go through and I create the lessons. You can see how easy it is and how simple it is to create this. I could add media. I could even add my Loom video there. I would hit add question, and now it's ready to go. I can move it, drag and drop any of the slides. I can delete them. I can add them. It's very flexible. When they're done, you hit save and exit. You do need to select, what grade level and what subject. And then from there, what you need to do is you have to click on either live session or student paste. And then that's when you're going to get the join code for your student to participate in your practice. So these are those post-session reports that I was talking about, giving you guys the option to kind of see how they're doing. And this is what the student would see in Nearpod. They're going to go in, they're going to type in that code that you shared with them. They're going to type in their name, and they're going to join the session. So here's a session that a teacher created. And look at that, there's a Loom video directly inside of Nearpod. So now the student can participate in a time to climb, right? So this is that Kahoot part that I was talking about. So here's a matching game. Really helps the kids practice what they're learning. They can also even take notes if they need to. So that is Nearpod, something that I think is fantastic. So the practical tips with Nearpod. Number one, use Nearpod's vast library to gain ideas or borrow full presentations to make them your own. A lot of teachers kind of like, I don't want to make my own yet. Well, that's okay. Search their library. They have a ton of free presentations that you can borrow and edit. So if you just want to take a look, say, oh, I like that, I want to pull that, or I want to get rid of that, you can. So experiment with activities is definitely one I would have to get you kind of used to. You don't have to use all of them at once. Try out the draw tool. How might you use that in your classroom? Or check out the matching. Check out the time to climb. Would your kids react well to that? Really experiment with it. The Nearpod notes is something to look into as well, where the students could actually take notes when they're in the Nearpod presentation, and that's going to get saved to their Google Drive. So everything is really housed all in one area. Then also check the integration with your LMS. A lot of these learning management systems do connect well with Nearpod, and if so, that's just an added bonus. Flipgrid, love Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is a great social media tool without the risks and distraction of a Twitter, of an Instagram, because it is a safe environment controlled by you, and it's made for education. So really what it is an option for you to ask questions or to pose a video to students and actually have them respond using a video. And so it's a lively discussion board with video. So you can create grids and topics, and a lot of times those grids act as lessons or maybe a class, and the topics are those specific, video discussion boards. So you could even add Loom videos, which is really cool because you could potentially create a Loom video, put it on your Flipgrid, students could watch it, and then they could respond to it using Flipgrid. And then all of a sudden, you're creating really a lively environment with discussion, because all of a sudden now other kids are kind of coming in, they're talking, and the students can go into that grid and watch someone else's. They can also reply to it. It's definitely something to really help that social interaction that we're missing during this time. And you can moderate posts, which is great because we all know we want to make sure that we want to watch what they're posting just in case anything comes in that we don't want. You can provide private feedback, which is great. So I could click on a video. If it's mine, I would be able to watch it, type in something. I could even use a rubric that I created, and then I would send that to the student. And that feedback isn't shown on the grid to other students. That's just that individual student. So here is a video looking at Flipgrid. So this is the teacher view. Again, very simple tool to use. It's free. This one does not have a pro version. You will be signing in using your Gmail or your Microsoft account. And then from there, you really get started. And you'll see here's some grids that I've created. I'm going to select one of them. I'll create my own, actually. And I'll type in, we're in this together. And then from there, you can share that link, or you can share that QR code as well. And so I'm going to create a topic, say hello, take a moment to introduce yourself. And you'll see now here where it says focus, that's where I can add a video, or that's where I can add an image or multiple images. And then from there, I'm going to share my topic with my students so they can participate. But if I go in and hit edit topic, that's where I get all those really cool settings where I can make it active, or I can get rid of selfies, or I can get rid of the likes that I don't want kids to do it. I can get rid of the view count. And then I can also create that custom rubric, like I said, as well. And then from there, all of them will start to populate down below. So I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you exactly what it would look like to moderate posts. So these are posts coming in, and now I could provide feedback. This is where I would do so. I could add comments, and then I would either copy that feedback link or email it to them. And so the student view is a little bit different. So what they're going to do is they're going to sign in with Google as well, but they're actually going to respond to your question that you posed using that big green circle. So once I click on that, then their camera turns on, okay? And now they have a lot of different features. They have filters, they have text, they have emojis, they have the paint color, and you can turn those off. Maybe you just really want them to focus on the content rather than kind of having fun. No problem at all. You can do that. So they can also draw. They can draw on a whiteboard. So I saw a math teacher use this to be able to, pose a question and have them respond and show their work. Again, it's just something really to change what's going on in their environment. I mean, they might be just used to the same tool. This could be a tool that you could use. And then when you're done, they just take a selfie. And if there's someone who doesn't want to show their face, they could just put an emoji over it like I did there. And then they'll hit submit video. And that's going to be added, whether or not you did the moderate post, it'll be added to the queue and you'll have to approve it. So here's what it looks like. You can see right now on the screen, multiple students have already submitted. And so I could ask, can you please go in and now actually can you reply to one of them? That could be part of the assignment. They could reply to them. And again, it's really keeping that social environment alive during this time of remote learning. Some practical tips. Check the settings after you create a topic in your Flipgrid for maximum customization. Just because from there you can do the filters, the stickers, you can set recording times. There are recording times. You want to make sure that you set enough time and less time if you don't want kids to talk forever. And you can also get rid of that view count and likes if you're someone who does not want students kind of just on there for the likes and the view count. So step 5, the most effective video isn't pretty, it's personal. And when I create videos, I always try and make it personal. I mean, these are just clips of me being myself all the time. I want to make sure that my teachers see me for who I am, and they know that I'm someone who's going to be there no matter what and help them in any situation that they're in. And that's the same thing for you. That's what a YouTube video doesn't do. It doesn't give us that option to really feel connected to the kid because it's just a YouTube video made by someone else, whereas we could have probably done something very similar and probably better. Speak in a natural conversational manner with an enthusiastic tone to hold those students, accountable as well as, attentive. Students appreciate knowing that it's their actual teacher behind the camera. I truly believe that. So these are some of the lessons learned on my end. Loom videos are much more effective than written directions. Pretty plain and simple. I talked about that earlier in the session, but it's very important, and the fact that kids can rewatch it really saves teachers time. Another thing is don't go crazy with the amount of videos. Less is more. If you create 2-3 videos, it's fantastic. Make sure they're not too long, but don't go crazy with the videos. These kids have so many other classes and so many other videos to watch. We want to make sure that we're being compelling and concise. Nearpod is great to decrease that transition time and increase engagement. If that's something that you're looking for, please check it out and see how you can use your Loom videos with Nearpod. Flipgrid, like I said, is a great opportunity to build a sense of community during this time. I mean, during a Zoom meeting recently, kids even got on. They couldn't pay attention. They were just like, I just miss everybody. I just want to talk. I want to see how they're doing. This is something that they miss, and Flipgrid can really help with that and kind of ease that transition to this remote learning. So some practical tips. We went over them, but just kind of an overview real quick. Check the integration with your LMS. Anytime you're looking at a new tool, see if there's an integration. If there is, fantastic. If there isn't, no worries. Use Loom's editing options to save time. Major key. Check the settings after you create a topic in your Flipgrid for maximum customization. Use Nearpod's vast library to gain ideas or borrow full presentations to make them your own. Those are really the 4 practical tips that I have for you when we look at Loom, Nearpod, and Flipgrid. So these are some of the next steps that you could look into. You could try to combine Flipgrid with Nearpod. Very simple. That's something that just came out, that you can actually now add a Flipgrid into a Nearpod, so that way it becomes a component of your lesson. I haven't tried it myself. I do want to try it though. Some next steps, I want to improve in my own video creation skills, and that should be next steps for all of us. See how we can improve. This isn't those 5 steps it's not going to make me the best video creator, because I need to continually get better at this and experiment with new visuals such as Google Earth projects. That's something that came out, and that's something that I actually just showed to a social studies department. That way the students can now feel a part of the presentation, because it takes them on 3D tours that the teacher actually can create. And so I have a social studies teacher working in the Civil War right now, and all of a sudden now he's able to take them on battlefields and show them where they went. And it's really giving a great opportunity for the kids to view this. And again, it's an added visual to keep those videos entertaining. So in conclusion, learning to create authentic videos does not happen overnight. All right, it's really based on that trial, error, and innovation. That really is it. I mean, you're going to start making videos, and maybe it's not the best, but it's okay. You're being yourself. You did your best. You showed your kids. Maybe you asked some feedback from your students. What worked? What didn't work? And then improve on that. It's tough to be compelling and concise. It's very hard. A lot of us can maybe go on tangents, or a lot of us maybe forget to be detailed where we should have. I do that all the time, and that's something that I'm trying to fix and trying to work on. But the last thing is keep trying, be yourself, and have fun. I love making videos. It's so much fun. I don't care that other people see me. I think it's a blast. I get to be creative. I get to think about what I could do the next video for the teachers or the students. And I think that's something that really can be helpful. So please take a look at how you can create and enhance instructional videos for your students, because not only is it fantastic for you to learn how to do this, but it's going to be really helping students transition back if we do go, or if we do have something similar to remote learning. Creating instructional videos is fantastic for education. I hope this session was helpful, and we're going to take this time now to have some questions.